What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Video Homicide, back with another director spotlight. Today I've pulled 3 movies off the shelf from one of my favorite filmmakers, Martin Scorsese. So before we get into the actual tip of the pyramid with these 3 films I picked, I have to honorably mention Gangs of New York. You know, this movie, it's set around the same time as like Jack the Ripper, and I'm obsessed with that era. I love sort of Victorian times, so we get a lot of, just old, like, nobody looks the same. No one's wearing like the same outfit. Everyone is like unique to themselves. It's all, everything that you own is like shit you pick up throughout the entirety of your life, which is the expectancy back then was not very fucking long. But Bill the Butcher, absolutely love the performance by god damn it, the hell's his name, Daniel Day-Lewis. Leonardo DiCaprio is great in the film. I love all of the sort of ephemera around the movie with all these gangs, the dead rabbits, the fucking the Chichesters, the fucking 40 thieves. I love the opening of this movie. I remember when I first watched the film, I seen this fight, and like when that guy kicks the door open, the buddy with like the club with all the notches on it, he kicks the door open, the camera goes out the door, and then slowly Bill the Butcher's gang comes out of the and just spills all over the fucking field, leaving our dead rabbits totally outnumbered. And then he just calls out all these gangs. He's like, warriors is what I brought, and all these fucking, badass looking people just come out of the woodwork, and we got a hell of a fight. Like, that is a gang fight. This is not like Colors, where, the 21st Street guys roll up to the Crips hideout and just blow them away. Like, no, this is knives, chains, fucking swords. It's like the least fucking appetizing looking fight. Like, when I think of like a movie like The Outsiders that has a really good brawl in it, like, that's nothing compared to this. And that one chick, Hellcat Mary's like biting motherfuckers' ears off and stuff. Obviously later on in the film we get a lot of not a lot, but we get some of the New York riots and stuff like that. It's really crazy to think that wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? So Gangs of New York is definitely an honorable mention. Same with Casino. I love Casino, but I love these 3 films more. So let's get into it. So we're going to do it in sort of order of how I enjoy them. Number 3. For $3 I picked it up. We've got The Departed. Yes. Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio. Amazing performances from everybody in this movie. I believe this is, actually, I don't just believe. I have Infernal, I'll probably not be able to find it right now. But the film there's another movie that was made around the same time as this, I believe from Korea. I probably should have busted this out beforehand, but it's either called Internal Affairs or Infernal Affairs. But anyways, it's like the same source material. So if when you watch that movie, you get a lot of sort of like I seen Departed first. So when I actually ended up watching Infernal Affairs, there's a lot to spot. But this movie is based also on the Whitey Bulger. There it is right there. So there's Infernal Affairs number 2. I'm sorry, because this is still not in alphabetical order all the way. There's number 3. Probably didn't show that the best, but either way, man, this story of cops infiltrating the mob and the mob infiltrating the cops, it's so well done in this movie, because like Matt Damon's character was essentially groomed to be this police officer by Jack Nicholson, who plays this just greasy guy, based on, I believe, Whitey Bulger, who another great film based on him is called Black Mass with Johnny Depp. But Jack Nicholson plays an amazing scumbag in this movie, where he's, just a crime boss and controlling these. I don't want to call them capos, because they're not capos, and it's an Irish mob thing, but all these guys that Alec Baldwin gets to announce. He's like, the number 2, Mr. French, Fitzy, who's fresh off the boat psycho, lives with his mother. She's straight out of Coming Our Way. I don't remember the exact line, but man, I'm telling you, when I say this might be the Scorsese film I've watched the most. It doesn't mean it's my favorite, but it's so fucking awesome. What the hell is his name? Mark Wahlberg is great in this film as like this asshole lieutenant. Martin Sheen is in this film. You got just a lot of good stuff. One of my favorite scenes is when Mr. French and Leo go into that one like garage or whatever, and he's like kicking this guy's ass. He's like, yeah, you ain't got no money? This is America. You ain't got any money, you're a fucking douchebag, or something like that. It's so fucking awesome. And obviously, my favorite scene in this whole movie is the scene where Leo's at the bar and he asks for a cranberry juice, and a guy at the bar asks him if it's his period, and then they get into this huge fight, and then Mr. French splits it all up, and at the very end, he says, what are you drinking? And Leo says, cranberry juice, and then the guy says the same joke, what is it, your period? So, great stuff. Departed, fucking phenomenal, man. 10 out of 10 for me. The next one is probably a lot of people's number one, but this is going to be my number two. Goodfellas. Oh my god. Fucking Goodfellas. Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro. I forget the guy that Paul Sorvino, I believe, or Paul Cicero. Yeah, Paul Sorvino. Lorraine Bracco. Everyone's great in this movie. Obviously, the story of a kid that grew up and wanted to be a gangster and then ended up being a fucking rat. And one of the scenes in this movie I love the most is when Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta, is a kid. He gets arrested and he goes to jail, or he goes to court, and he doesn't rat anybody out. And Jimmy Conway, played by De Niro, comes out and he says, you passed, you popped your cherry, basically. You learn the most valuable rule: never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut. And at the very end, like when Henry Hill points at Jimmy Conway and Paulie, it hits a different way, because these guys, they're not like, Henry Hill didn't just come into this as like an adult, like he was raised into this. So it had to have been like a hell of a decision, you know what I mean? Like they must have been like threatening his life big time for him to like rat on his friends like that. But obviously, Goodfellas, one of my favorite scenes in the film is at the bar with Billy Batts, where Joe Pesci comes in with this chick. Billy Batts, played by Frank Vincent, is at the end of the bar, just released from prison, and starts breaking his balls. And then Joe Pesci comes back later, and they kill him, bury him, and all that stuff. But obviously, all the stops in between, like they stop past Joe Pesci's mother's house to get a shovel or to get a knife, and you get all that banter. It's actually Scorsese's mom. And it's important to point out that in Casino, Frank Vincent kills Joe Pesci, so you get sort of that reverse effect there. Frank Vincent and Joe Pesci, they look mob as fuck, but really they're like musicians, you know what I mean? Like they're not who they portray on film. Same with James Gandolfini, like he's not Tony Soprano. Like you listen to him being interviewed or just talking like normal, he does not have like the Jesus fucking Christ, you know what I mean? He doesn't sound like that. So obviously, another really good scene is the spider scene with Michael Imperioli, who's another Sopranos favorite. Why don't you go fuck yourself, Tommy? And then he shoots him in the foot, Absolutely fucking stunning film. It looks beautiful. The soundtrack in this is so good. Every scene that has like a piece of music to it, it's picked so and placed so perfectly. Absolutely love the one take shot of Henry and Karen like going from the car all the way to their seats in the restaurant. How many times did they have to do that? Like it begs to question, like this is like cinema to me. Like when Scorsese and all those guys like say that those Disney films, the Marvels and all that shit, like they're not real cinema. Like this is why they get to say that, because they made movies like this. Coppola made The Godfather. Like as far as I'm concerned, those guys paid their dues like in the fucking early 70s. So they can say whatever they want when it comes to this shit. They invented modern cinema, you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for guys like Scorsese, Coppola, George Lucas, and all those people in that, John Cassavetes and Roman Polanski types, like from that era, it would still be, we'd be stuck in the 50s, with the fucking giant monsters and 50-foot women, whatever. Again, Goodfellas, great movie. Can't recommend that one enough. So the final one, and I've done a review on this film a few times, and I have considered it in the past as my favorite film, and that still sort of stands to this day. We are talking about Taxi Driver. Oh my God, Robert De Niro, Jodie Foster, Harvey Keitel. So many scenes in this film but I have to mention a few of them. Obviously, the opening scene when he goes to the cab stand and he's talking to fucking Joe Spinell, who I just watched in Godfather the other night. Amazing little back and forth right there. But De Niro plays this guy who's just sort of like a friendless, lost, soul of that generation, went to Vietnam and all that shit, came back, didn't know what the fuck to do, and just became a cab driver because of his insomnia. And, him trying to I feel bad for Travis so much in this film, especially like in the beginning when he goes to like the porno theater and he's like buying the candy and all that stuff, and asks like the chick what her name is and all that. Like you can kind of feel like his boyish helplessness, like innocence in a way, but it's like it's dismissed so fast. You know what I mean? Like he never really gets a chance to be sort of sweet. He tries to be sweet, like he tries to be sweet with the girl, not Jodie Foster's character, the other girl, and even with Jodie Foster in some degree, like when he's taking her to the diner or whatever. But that's all out the fucking window because he ends up buying some guns. Okay, goes to Easy Andy and gets himself a 44 Magnum. He gets himself a couple of automatics and like a 38 revolver, and slowly, I think once he gets the guns, that's when he's sort of like on the uptick, like going to like, okay, you got like the three versions of De Niro in this film. You got the three haircuts. You got like the beginning of the film haircut, and then like the sort of scraggly haircut, and then finally the mohawk. And the end of this film is one of the best scenes that I can personally think of in any film, period. Like from the point when he leaves the cab and goes up and shoots Sport, goes upstairs, interacts with the pimps and all that stuff. Great stuff. This is New York as I have always thought it was. Movies like Taxi Driver, movies like fucking Warriors, these 70s movies set in New York, they just have a certain feel and vibe that I'm totally obsessed with. So if you like Taxi Driver, I would recommend watching Maniac with Joe Spinell, because it's another sort of heavy narration. Not too heavy, but like it's a narrated film about a guy that's just sort of really lost. And I can't recommend Taxi Driver enough, honestly. Like if I was gonna like seriously adapt a book into a comic book, or excuse me, a movie into a comic book, this might be it. And I've thought about adapting a few scenes into comic book pages, like but sort of changing them into like my Filthy Ralph character style shit. So that could definitely be something in the future. Last night, I actually got a lot of shit done. I filmed 4 episodes of the Zine Stash. Got those already uploaded onto YouTube. So the next 4 Fridays, I got a fresh video. And, I'm just sort of getting a lot of shit done here today in terms of creating videos and just sort of organizing my room and stuff like that. So I'm having a good time today. It's Sunday and it's only 5 o'clock. So not too bad. If I was at work, I'd be two hours deep into the shift, so can't complain with that. But with that being said, stay tuned for more episodes of Director Spotlight, and definitely come back on Wednesdays and Fridays. On Wednesdays, I put up videos for VHS Graveyard, and on Fridays, I put up videos for the Zine Stash. So with that being said, leave a 666 in the comments, and let me know what your favorite Scorsese film is. See if it's on my list.